The global appeal of UK property investment. Let's be honest, UK property has always had this magnetic pull. You know what I mean? From Mayfair penthouses to Manchester student pods, investors around the world can't seem to get enough. And here's the kicker. Even in the face of economic uncertainty, a wobbly pound, and shifting government policies, international interest just keeps coming. Why? Buckle up. I've got stories, insights, and a few truths the glossy brochures won't tell you. So what's the deal? It's not just bricks and mortar. It's a badge of trust. I once met a Singaporean investor at a viewing in Marylebone, of all places, who said, "I don't even need to see the inside. I trust the postcode." That stuck with me. For many global buyers, the UK isn't just an investment. It's safe money. We've got strong legal protections, clear ownership laws, and, for the most part, stable institutions. Compared to volatile markets in, say, parts of Asia or the Middle East, UK property is like a sturdy old oak tree. It might creak, but it won't fall. The education magnet is real. Let's talk about the Oxford effect. And no, not the dictionary kind. When I list properties in cities with world-renowned universities, think Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, even Bristol, I immediately get enquiries from overseas families. And not just buying a flat, they're securing a future for their kids. "We want our son to live here while studying," one Kuwaiti client told me last year, handing over a 30% deposit on a £1.2 million flat in Knightsbridge. Wild, right? 3. The weak pound equals big opportunities. Okay, here's a little life hack. Whenever the pound dips, foreign investors get busy, like clockwork. In late 2022, when sterling tumbled post-mini-budget chaos, I saw a flurry of calls from Hong Kong and Dubai. One buyer snapped up 3 studio flats in Zone 3, all cash. "It's like shopping in a sale." She laughed. For them, it wasn't a crisis. It was clearance week at Harrods, London's global village, but not just London anymore. Yeah, everyone talks about London. And don't get me wrong, Belgravia still has that glossy allure. But honestly, the smarter money is spreading. Manchester's got regeneration buzz. Birmingham's catching foreign eyes, thanks HS2 hype, even if it's half scrapped. And places like Leeds and Sheffield are starting to show up on Asian property expos. Case in point, I helped an Australian tech entrepreneur buy a Victorian semi in Leeds as a long-term rental. Why Leeds? Well, it's where the returns are, he shrugged. Hard to argue. 5. Tax tweaks and regulation? Pfft, they still come. Let's address the elephant. Stamp duty surcharges for overseas buyers, increased compliance, anti-money laundering scrutiny? Yep, all there. But guess what? Serious investors factor it in. They aren't running scared. They're just adjusting their calculators. If anything, it weeds out the speculative crowd and leaves room for long-haul thinkers. Here's something weird. I once had a Russian client, pre-2022, before sanctions hit hard, tell me the extra 2% surcharge felt like a service fee for UK stability. That's perspective. Trophy homes and legacy buying. Sometimes it's not about yield or ROI. It's about legacy. I've dealt with buyers from Nigeria, India, and China who were looking for something to pass down, often in historic postcodes with Georgian facades and leafy squares. It's emotional. One gentleman said, "This house will outlive me." Gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? The rental boom is helping. Rents in cities like London, Edinburgh, and even Nottingham are surging. Supply is tight and demand through the roof. That's music to a buy-to-let investor's ears. I listed a 2-bed in Greenwich recently. 16 viewings in 3 days. The eventual tenant was a Canadian expat who paid 6 months up front. My client, an investor from Qatar, texted me, "More like this, please." 8. Tech, transparency, and TikTok. Yup, even that matters. Today's investor is more connected, more informed, and, believe it or not, sometimes finds me through social media. No joke. A Malaysian family reached out after watching one of my Instagram reels where I was showcasing a Battersea flat with a river view. They flew in 3 weeks later. Crazy world. Plus, platforms like virtual tours, DocuSign, and overseas onboarding tools make transactions seamless. A decade ago, you needed a physical presence. Now, a Zoom call and a savvy agent.